Hi, good morning all of you. So in the last class we discussed about two block problems, and in the previous class we discussed when the force is applied on the lower block how to solve the problems, and then in the last class we discussed like when force is applied on the upper block how to solve the problem, right? And in those classes we discussed like the lower surface is a smooth surface, and so there may be problems like when the lower surface is also rough. And so now let us see the possible cases in that, and we will discuss the numericals based on that here. And now here I am taking the case like so there is some friction here on the lower block on the surface. Say this is M1 and here this is M2, and so now here this coefficient of friction is mu1, let us take, and this is mu2. That means here we are taking the case like if force is applied on lower block, right? That means this is the case what we are taking here. So if force is applied on the lower block, it is somewhat easy to solve this problem, especially in these cases when friction is there here, when compared to that of when force is applied on the upper block. Because now here you can decide whether the system is moving or not. You can decide that the system will start moving only when this frictional force, that means an applied force is greater than that of the friction at the lower surface, right? So that means now here what we can write here is, let us say here this frictional force I am taking it as F1 and this is F2, let us consider here. And so now this F1 maximum you can write this as F1 limiting value is mu1 of M1 plus M2 into G, and F2 limiting is mu2 into M2 into G. So that means now here what we can mention here is system starts moving only when this applied force is greater than or equal to this limiting friction F1 limiting here. So that means now if F is less than F1 limiting, then system remains in equilibrium, right? When F is less than, that means applied force is less than this limiting friction, the system will remain at rest only, and so the system will remains in equilibrium here, right? And so now in that case these two forces will balance with each other, and so there is no any force acting on this block here. That means in that case the friction F2 value will become 0 in this case if the system remains at rest, because there is no force acting on the system in horizontal direction. That means there is no tendency for this. If this block is moving, if the lower block is moving, then there may be tendency for this upper block here. So in this case that F2 value will be, so that means now in this case I can mention here as in this case F1 is equal to F applied force and F2 value will be equal to 0. So that is the possibilities of this frictional force here. And next, if suppose if F is greater than this, if F is greater than this F1, then again the two possibilities may be there. That means like system may move with this common acceleration or they move separately. That depends on those values there. So if the system is moving with common acceleration, we can write one equation, and if they are moving with the different accelerations, then you can write that corresponding equations there. That means in that case, once the system is moving, then it will be just similar to that of our first case in two block problems what we discussed when force is acting on the lower surface. That simply only the difference is you need to consider the friction at this bottom surface also there, right? That means now what I can write here is so this case system starts accelerating, if blocks are moving with common acceleration, then this common acceleration, what we can write here is F minus F1 limiting by total mass m1 plus m2, or which is nothing but what we can write is F1 minus of mu1 into m1 plus m2 into g by this m1 plus m2, right? Just I am writing the total mass in motion by, that means net force by total mass in motion. This force minus here, this force, frictional force at the lower surface, we need to subtract by this total mass. That will be the common acceleration there, right? And in that case, the frictional force, what we can write here is friction on M2 is F2 is equal to M2 into AC, we can write here. And this frictional force is less than this F1, F2 limiting you will get here, this frictional force. Just we can write this as if the system is moving with common acceleration. That means even if you are getting confusion whether it is moving with common acceleration or not, you can do like this. If this value, F2 value, if you are getting more than this F2 limiting, then you can conclude that system is not moving with the common acceleration there. That means these principles are similar to that of our previous discussion in the previous classes. Once the system is moving, and if the system is moving with the different accelerations, so that means now here if blocks move with different accelerations, then just you may take the free body diagram and you can conclude that you can write these accelerations here. That means this F2 will be there and F2 limiting you may consider here. Actually kinetic, if kinetic is given, then kinetic you need to consider here actually. F2 kinetic you need to consider here, and suppose this acceleration is A2. And so that A2 value we can write this as mu2 into g. That means that F2 L by m2 you need to write, which is nothing but mu2 into g. This will be the acceleration of this A2 here. And acceleration of this A1 you may write like this. And so just if I consider this free body diagram of this M1, this applied force is there like this. And here this frictional force F2 will be there along this direction, F2 limiting. And this F1 limiting will be there along this direction. Now it is moving with some acceleration A1 here, right? So that equation. And again here if kinetic is given, then both the kinetic frictions will be kinetic frictions you need to take here. So for this F2, this direction will be just opposite to that. On the friction, the body is moving on, that means on the lower surface, body is moving, and so frictional force will be in backward direction there. And so now here I am writing this A1 expression, F1 minus F2 limiting minus F1 limiting by this M1. So that means now these two values will be different values will be there in that case if both are moving with its different accelerations there. So that is a simple when the lower block is, that means when the friction is there at the lower surface, and when you are applying the force on this lower surface here, right? And so now let us move to the next case here. When the force is applied on this upper block, so that means when force is applied on the upper block, in this case you need to solve carefully here. That means the same case, just we are taking that force is applied on the upper block. If force is applied on upper block, right? So here I am taking this force F here, the applied force I am taking like that, right? And so now here the different possibilities will be there here. So that means I am saying for that only here, if the case is like this, then you need to solve it carefully there. And carefully in the sense you need to understand the possibilities here clearly. The possibilities means now here, when can you say that M1 will move definitely? If suppose I am giving like F1 value is, I will give some values here, just let us consider this. This is 10 and this is 8 newtons, and suppose say this applied force is some 30 newtons. Observe this. F1 is 10, F2 is 8. We are assuming F2 is 8 and this force is applied force is 30 newtons. Now can you say that the system is accelerating, that means both the blocks are accelerating in that case? Can you say the both M1 and M2 are accelerating? They may accelerate with common acceleration or different acceleration. Just whether acceleration is there or not, I am asking here for both the blocks. If the values are like this is 10, 8 and 30. So then simply what you should observe here is, in this particular case, that means for these values, M1 will remain at rest. M1 block doesn't move. Only that M2 block will start accelerating on M1. That means there will be some relative slipping will be there between the blocks here. That is why, because the force acting on this M1 is only F2. That means accelerating force. If you are taking the free body diagram here, so if I consider this free body diagram of this M1 and M2, this is a M2 and applied force F will be there, and so the frictional force F2 will be there along this direction, and this is M1. This F2 will act in this direction here, and F1 will be there along this direction, right? So these are the directions of this frictional force, right? And so now here what I am saying here is F2 is 8 newtons, this value is 8 newtons, but here this value is 10 newtons I am saying here. So then from that you can conclude that this block doesn't accelerate. 10 newtons means these are maximum values. What I am saying is those are maximum values. So here this is if this is 8 newtons, then this will also reaches to 8 newtons, and there the block will remain at rest. That means then the friction will be a static friction here. It won't be 10 newtons, right? And so that means the maximum possible values I am saying it as a 10 newtons. So that means this will be, if it is 8, then this also reaches the 8 value, 8 newtons, and so this block will remain at rest. That means in this case what we can conclude is this M1 will start accelerating only when F2 value is, F2 limiting is greater than that of F1 limiting. Then only there is possibility for this M1 acceleration of this M1 here. So if F2 is less than this F1, then irrespective of this applied force on the upper block, this lower block doesn't accelerate. Is it clear? So that means that conclusion we can write here. That means now if F2 limiting is less than F1 limiting, then the block M1 remains at rest for any value of F, for any value of capital F. Is that point is clear? So that means this value is F1 limiting there. Until that means if the case is if this is the case here, then irrespective of this applied force, this block will remain at rest only. Only this block may accelerate if the force is greater than that corresponding limiting friction there. Is it clear? And so now we are assuming the case like if F2 is greater than that of F2 limiting is greater than that of F1 limiting, we are assuming here. So now let us consider the case. So this is the important point you should note here. So now I am taking that if F2 limiting is greater than that of F1 limiting, then system may accelerate. In this case you should not conclude that the M1 should accelerate. That means M1 must be accelerating, you should not conclude. Because now in this case whether it is accelerating or not, it will depend on now applied force here. So depending on this applied force, now this lower block will accelerate. That means there is some possibility for this acceleration. In this case we can conclude here. But in this case you can conclude that the M1 will remain at rest. So that means now here in this case M1 may accelerate depending on value of f, right? So depending on the value of f, it may accelerate. That is a conclusion what we are saying here. Now in this case only there will be some different possibilities will be there here. So let us check those possibilities now. So that means now in this case I am taking like f2 limiting is greater than f1 limiting, but f is less than f1 limiting. That means now again I will take this numericals here so that you will get the clarity. So like suppose this f1 limiting, let us take 10 newtons and this is some 18 newtons, let us consider here, and this value is suppose say some 8 newtons. Now see the case here, observe the case. F1 limiting, that means this limiting value is 10 newtons. So this limiting is 18 newtons. So that we are concluding that M1 may accelerate, depends on this F1 value, that is our this point here. Now in this point what we are concluding here is F1 is, that means the same case we are taking here, the possibility is there, but we are taking this F is less than this F limiting. So then what will happen is these two, that means these two blocks will remain in equilibrium, right? So in order to move this lower block, in order to move this system, if you are taking M1, the M1 and M2 as a system, this F value must be greater than this F1 here, right? And so that the system will start accelerating in that case. So that means now in this case what we can conclude here is then system remains at rest. So in this case the system remains at rest. And now let us see the frictional forces in this case. So the frictional forces in this case means then this value will be say M2, F is applied here. So this is F2 here. And so that means now what we can write is F is equal to F2 you can write. And now for this M1, this F2 will act here and F1 will act here. And so that this F2 is equal to F1 we can write. So which is equal to F. So that means that F1, F2 are equal and that will be equal to this applied force here in that case, right? And so now next there may be possibility like if F is greater than this F1, both the blocks may accelerate and both the blocks may accelerate with the common acceleration or they move with the different accelerations. Once the system starts accelerating, then either common acceleration is there or not, we can check by using our previous knowledge. That means which we discussed in our previous classes. Just you may assume that system is moving with the common acceleration and you may check whether that with further acceleration what will be the frictional force acting between the blocks, and you may check whether that frictional force is possible or not. And you need to remember here one point, when the system is accelerating, here the friction will be limiting friction only or kinetic friction if different mu k value is given there. Here the friction is kinetic or which is equal to the limiting friction. But here you can't take that limiting friction always, right? So that means you need to verify whether that frictional force is possible or not. That means common acceleration is possible or not. So after that you may conclude that point here, right? So that means now in this case you may mention that point here. I will rub this and I will mention here. So that means now if F2 limiting is greater than F1 limiting and applied force is greater than F1 limiting, right? So that means now the system will accelerate then both blocks accelerates. Whether they are accelerating with common acceleration or not means now we need to verify that. That means depending on the values we need to verify. and that verification we discussed already there, right? So that means based on that verification you can conclude whether they are moving with the common acceleration or not. You can verify there. You may write the mathematical equations if they are moving with the common acceleration. Then I think if you are solving a numerical problem, then you will get more clarity about that. That means now you may mention that depending on f value, they may move with common acceleration or they may move with a different acceleration. You may mention that depending on f value in this case only, depending on this f value, capital F, applied force, both the blocks may move with common acceleration, or they may move with different accelerations. Right? So those are the possibilities in this case here. So lot of that means this type of possibilities will be there. More possibilities will be there in this case here. So further down I am saying that if this is the problem is given, this type of problem is given, you need to solve it more carefully here. And so now I will give some data here. So let us take this. Identify these values here. Like I am taking this m1 is equal to 4 kg. M2 is equal to 2 kg and a mu1 value is 0.1 and a mu2 value is 0.2. Let us take here. And so now we are applying this force F here. So you need to write the acceleration of the blocks. That means just mention it as a problem. In the system shown in figure, find acceleration of blocks M1 and M2. Find acceleration of the blocks M1 and M2 and frictional force between the different contacts. Frictional force between all contact surfaces when applied force is say 3 newtons and when applied force is 10 newtons. So that means for these two possibilities we need to write the accelerations and this frictional force there. So first let us calculate those limiting friction values here. So same F1 means here and F2 is the frictional force here. I am taking this F1 limiting value is 0.1 into M1 plus M2 into G. So that G is, let us take it as 10. So you will get 6 newtons, right? That is F1 limiting. And so now F2 limiting is, so F2 limiting is mu2 value is 0.2 here into M2G. So 2 into 10. So 4 newtons you will get. So in this type of problems, as I said, first you need to verify whether the lower block can accelerate or not. So how to verify that? For the acceleration of this lower block, this F2 must be greater than that of F1. Right? F2 limiting must be greater than that of F1 limiting. Then there is possibility for the acceleration of this lower block. And so now here you can observe that F1 limiting is greater than that of F2 limiting here, and so that system, that means the lower block doesn't accelerate for any value of F. So that we can conclude here. So here F1 limiting is greater than this F2 limiting. So block M1 remains in equilibrium for any value of F, for any value of applied force F, right? So that means here for us two cases are given here. So for both the cases, that block we can conclude that M1 will remain in equilibrium there. So that means now here the first case I am taking here, when F is 3 newtons. So when F is 3 newtons, then what we can conclude here is, only I am taking this, I will draw the free body diagrams of these blocks here. This is 3 newtons force is acting here. But here in order to move this M2 on M1, the frictional force required is 4 newtons here. And so that this F2 value will also be 3 newtons. And so the block will remain at rest, we can conclude. And next similarly, suppose if you are taking this M1 free body diagram, this F2 will act in this direction and F1 will act in this direction here. And so that in this case, this F2 value is 3 newtons and this F1 is also now 3 newtons. So that means now in this case we can conclude that A1 is equal to A2 is equal to 0. Both the blocks will remain at rest. And then frictional force F1 is equal to F2 is equal to 3 newtons. So that is our conclusions for this here. So that means these two values will be, these are the required values. And the next case is when F is 10 newtons. When applied force is 10 newtons. So when applied force is 10 newtons here, this M1 will, this M2 upper block will start accelerating here because the force applied on this will be greater than that of its limiting friction. So now this F2 limiting will act here. F2 limiting is nothing but 4 newtons will act here. So now it starts accelerating with some acceleration here. And so that A2 value we can write this as 10 minus 4 by mass of this block. Mass of this block is M2 value 2. So we'll get 3 meter per second square. And now the M1 acceleration will be M1 free body diagram if I consider here. So this F2 limiting will act in this direction, which is 4 newtons. Now here this F1 will act in this direction here. Right? And so therefore this A2, that means A1 acceleration of this block will be 0 and F1 value will be equal to F2 limiting, which is equal to 4 newtons. So now this will be the values for this case here. A1 is given by, A2 is given by 3 meter per second square. So those are the accelerations and frictional forces in that case. And so now in the same problem, I will change the data and let us check the possibilities for that here. And suppose just I am keeping all these values here, that mu2 value I am taking it as 0.8. So let us take this mu2 value as 0.8. And F1 is equal to, let us take that value as 4 newtons. That means F, this is one case here. And when F is equal to 18 newtons. And when F is equal to, let us take some 30 newtons here. So again the similar question here. In the system shown in figure, find the acceleration of the blocks, find the acceleration of the blocks and friction between the all contact surfaces, when F is equal to 3 newtons. This is say first problem or A. And when B is equal, when F is equal to 18 newtons and when F is equal to 30 newtons. And so here again, we need to calculate the limiting friction values here. So let us find this limiting friction values here. So first I am finding this. This is the given data here for us, given data. So we need to find A1, A2 and F1, F2 values we need to find. And so now I am taking again F1 limiting. So this mu1 remains same. So mu1 into this problem is like 4 plus 2 into 10. So we'll get it is again 6 newtons. Now this F2 limiting will changes here. So this is 0.8 into 2 into 10. And so then you will get this value as 16 newtons. And so now clearly you can observe that this value will be F2 value is greater than that of F1 limiting here. So definitely the lower block can accelerate depending on this applied force. The lower block can accelerate, so we can say here. So that means now here what I can mention here is as F2 limiting is greater than F1 limiting, lower block M1 may accelerate depending on F value. So that means depending on this F value, it may accelerate. So that is a conclusion what we are saying just by seeing those values here. And so now let us take for this force, applied force is 4 newtons here. So now I am taking this the first case here when F is equal to 4 newtons. So now we can easily conclude that when F is equal to 4 newtons, the system cannot accelerate. That means I will draw the individual free body diagram. This is M2. So F is equal to 4 newtons here, and this will be F2 value will be there. So it will also be now attains the 4 newtons. And so now this is M1. So this will attains this F2 is equal to 4 newtons. And so now this F1 value will be 4 newtons, which is less than this limiting friction. So that what we can conclude from this is, as this F is less than that of this F1 limiting, the system will remain in equilibrium. So right, in this case, so that there is no acceleration for the system here. And so therefore system will remain in equilibrium. Therefore system remains in equilibrium. System remains in equilibrium, right? So that will be the case for this here. And so now when the system remains in equilibrium, you can write this accelerations and then frictional force there. So acceleration of the blocks will be 0, and then this F1 is equal to F2 is equal to 4 we can mention here. And next let us take when the applied force is say 18 newtons. So when the applied force is say 18 newtons, so for this case only most of the students will do some mistakes here for this 18 newtons. So let us observe this 18 newtons here. So generally what we may think here is, for 18 newtons there will be some slipping between M1 and M2 because F1 limiting F2 limiting value is only 16 newtons, right? So that is our general thought. So generally just by observing that value 18 newtons, what we can conclude is here force is 18 newtons, but here this limiting friction is 16 newtons only. And so that as F is greater than this F2 limiting, these two blocks relative slipping will be there between those two blocks. That is our general thought, right? So then with that general thought, don't attempt this, try to solve this problem. So that means when such a case, when applied force is greater than this F1 limiting, then what we can conclude is there is possibility for this acceleration of the system. So then we assume that system is moving with common acceleration. That means once the system is accelerating, you need to assume that system is moving with the common acceleration there. So now let us check that whether they are moving with the common acceleration or with they are moving with the different accelerations. So then let both are moving with common acceleration. So therefore this AC is equal to what we can write here is common acceleration means how to find this common acceleration. for entire system. We are taking common acceleration means for both the blocks we need to take here. Applied force will be along this direction. Then F1 limiting will act along this direction here. F1 limiting. And as we are taking both of them as common system, there is no need of taking this F2 here. So I can write this as F minus F1 limiting by total mass M1 plus M2. So which you can write this as 18 minus F1 limiting is 6 by this 4 plus 2. And so then this value is 12 by 6. So 2 meter per second square. So right. So that will be the common acceleration there. So now if the 2 meter per second square is a common acceleration, now let us calculate this F2 value here. So if that F2 value for this acceleration is more than this 16 newtons, then our assumption is wrong. Then both are moving with different accelerations. Then otherwise our assumption is true, right? And so then what we can write here is, now I am taking this FBD of M2. So now let us take this FBD of M2. So this applied force 18 newtons is acting along this direction. Now F2 is acting along this direction. Now it is moving with some common acceleration AC. Now let us write the force equation for this here. So 18 minus F2 is equal to 2 into AC. So which is nothing but I can write this as 2 into 2. Mass of the block is 2 and common acceleration is also 2 we are getting. And therefore this F2 value is 18 minus 4. So 14 newtons, right? So now you can observe that this frictional force is less than our limiting friction here, F2 limiting. So that this acceleration is possible. That means this friction is possible so that the common acceleration is possible. And so that for this, the system is moving with this common acceleration there, right? And you may check now for this friction, you may check the acceleration of the lower block also, whether it is 2, whether you are getting 2 or not. So if you are just checking that acceleration for this M1, the force acting F2 will be along this direction, 14 newtons, and M1 here this F1 limiting will be 6 newtons along this direction. So 14 minus 6 by mass of this block 4. That means 14 minus 6 means 8. So 8 by 4 means then you will get 2 meter per second square, which is the acceleration, common acceleration there, right? So that is a thing you need to remember here. So just by seeing when the frictions are there between this lower surface and all, so just by seeing that, don't think there will be relative slipping here. So this is a procedure to check whether the relative slipping is there or not. We assume that common acceleration is there. So and then with this common acceleration we calculate the friction. Once it is less than this limiting friction, our assumption is true. If it is wrong, that means if you are getting like F2 value is greater than this F2 limiting, then our assumption will be wrong. So then you need to take this common acceleration, that means relative accelerations we need to calculate. That means acceleration of the blocks you need to calculate separately. So that means this value is less than this F2 limiting, and therefore A1 is equal to A2 is equal to 2 meter per second square. This is our acceleration here. And then F1 is equal to that limiting friction only 16 newtons. Sorry, F1 is 6 newtons. And F2 value is 14 newtons. So those are these frictional forces and these values here, right? And next here, similarly you may check for this, solve for this 30 newtons here. I am not explaining for this 30 newtons. So now solve for this 30 newtons here. That means up to here this is same. The system is moving with the common acceleration. So here you need to take that F value as 30 and this common acceleration you need to find. And after getting that you need to find this F2 value here with that acceleration. So if F2 is less than F2 limiting, then again our common acceleration assumption is true. If it is wrong, then take here this friction, that means then the relative slipping will be there. Once the relative slipping is there, then here this F2 value you need to take. That means if this assumption is wrong, once if you are getting this F2 is greater than this F2 limiting, then how to solve means, then we should not use any of these values here. That means this assumption is wrong. then you need to take this free body diagram of M1 and M2 separately, and then this friction you need to take it as limiting friction here, or actually kinetic friction. So here you can take it as a limiting friction here. So that means the F2 value is limiting friction 16 newtons, and the F1 value will also be the limiting friction. So both the limiting frictions you need to take, and M1 and M2 separately consider the free body diagram and find the accelerations there. So here in this block on block problems, some different models will be there, lot of models will be there based on this, and you need to practice the more problems actually. And so then I will explain one more problem here. So let us take this as 3 kg and 2 kg. Here the coefficient of friction is 0.2. Then here the coefficient of friction is 0.1. Then here suppose say 5 newtons force is acting here, and this is say 10 newtons force is acting here. So that means now the question will be find acceleration of the blocks and then frictional force acting at the different surfaces, contacts. So write that in the system shown in figure, find acceleration of the blocks, and also find friction at all contact surfaces. So again let us calculate this F1 limiting and F2 limiting values here. So again let us take this as here the frictional force as F1 here, and this frictional force I am taking it as F2. So now F2 limiting and F1 limiting I am writing here. So F1 limiting is equal to 0.1 into like that is 2 plus 3 into 10. So this is 5 newtons, F1 limiting. And so now F2 limiting. So this is a 0.2 into 2 into 10. So mu2 into m2 into g, so which is 4 newtons here. So now clearly you can say that this limiting friction here is only 5 newtons, but we are applying a force greater than that on the entire system. Now here the case is force is applied on both lower block and upper block here, right? So now in this case also, in order to decide that accelerations of the blocks and then in order to find the frictional force, you may consider that again the system is moving with common acceleration. So again our verification method we will follow here. So that means now let us assume that they are moving with common acceleration here. So let AC be the common acceleration. So now I am writing this AC is equal to, so directly I am writing here, this is 10 plus 5 minus. So as we are taking both of them as a friction together as a system, then here the frictional force we need to take for the opposing force. So that is F1 limiting we need to consider here by this 2 plus 3. So this is 15 minus F1 limiting is 5 by 5. So 2 meter per second square we are getting the common acceleration, right? So now with this common acceleration, let us find the friction between those two blocks there, M1 and M2, that means like 2 kg and 3 kg. Now I am taking this FBD of 2 kg. So FBD of 2 kg. So this is 2 kg, and here this applied force is say 5 newtons. And now this block is accelerating with an acceleration of 2 meter per second square. Now by observing these values, now we can check the direction of the frictional force here, when you are taking the individual free body diagrams. Now if suppose friction is not there, for example, if friction is not there, then this because of this 5 newtons, now it should have an acceleration of 2.5, right? If friction is not there, for example, then 5 by 2 you can write, so that acceleration of the system must be 2.5 meter per second square. Now the acceleration is less than that. Now the acceleration is only 2 only. That means the friction must be opposing force here. So that means now here this friction must be there along this direction, F2. Is it clear? The direction of the friction force. Now let us write this equation for this. So 5 minus F2 is equal to 2 into 2. That means MA. So therefore this F2 value is 1 Newton. So this 1 Newton is less than that of our limiting friction here. So this is less than this F2 limiting, right? Therefore our assumption is true. Our common acceleration assumption is true. And so once the common acceleration assumption is true, then what we can write is A1 is equal to A2 is equal to, what's that value? 2 meter per second square. This is a common acceleration there. And the friction we calculated already there. That means F2 is equal to, that means here the friction will be 1 Newton and here the friction will be limiting friction only. That is 5 Newtons we can write. And therefore, and what we can write here is F1 is equal to 5 Newtons and F2 is equal to 1 Newton. And you may take the free body diagram of this lower block and further block also you may check whether this what we are writing, this assumption is true or false. So that means for that also now you can verify that. Like if you are taking this 3 kg block, then for 3 kg block 10 newtons is acting along this direction, and this reaction force for this 1 Newton will be there in forward direction there, and then this force will be F1 limiting will be there in backward direction here. That means now just I am verifying this. With this up to here the problem is completed. Once if you are getting this conclusion, our assumption is true, then problem is completed. Just for you to understand it clearly, just I am verifying the acceleration for this M. So acceleration of this 3 kg block, if I verify, with this friction we should get it as 2 meter per second square. So now its reaction force F2 is acting along this direction, which is 1 Newton. And here the applied force is 10 Newtons is there along this direction. And here the limiting friction F1 limiting will be there, which is 5 Newtons. Now let us find the acceleration for this here. So now the acceleration of this block must be equal to 10 plus 1. These two are in the direction of acceleration, and this will be in opposite direction there. Minus 5 by 3. So which is 6 by 3, so 2 meter per second square, right? So you can observe that we are getting that common acceleration there. So with that friction, that common acceleration is possible. So like that you can solve these problems here. And then so many models are there still. That means still we didn't started the 3 block problems. So then 3 block problems I will explain later. And then with this 2 block problems, one Planck and object problems will be there. Planck is projected on this object, and those problems are also not yet completed for us, and I will discuss those problems in our next class. So that means for this weekend only this 2 block problems only will be there, and not Planck and block problems. Planck and block types are not there because we didn't discuss any model based on that. Only like 2 blocks placed on the surface and a frictional force like this type of force may be there on the upper block and lower block, or force may be there on the both the blocks. So only this type of problems will be there for this weekend. Is it clear, the syllabus? And so from the beginning of this friction topic until this type of problems there. So next we need to discuss some other models like 3 block problems, and you may consider the 4 block problems also. As I said in the previously, they never asked a question based on the 3 block problems also till now in JEE mains or advanced. And so but we should have some idea, so that I will explain that 3 block problems also there, and some other models are there in friction. So we need to discuss those problems also, that I will explain from Monday onwards there, right? Thank you.